Just keep going, just keep going up, just keep going, just keep going up. You can't turn back, you come too far, you can't give up, you work too hard. Just keep going, just keep going up, just keep going, just keep going up. You can't turn back, you come too far, you can't give up, you work too hard.
Welcome to another episode of Dissertation in 90 Days. I'm your host, bringing you practical advice and strategies to help you succeed in your doctoral journey. Today, we're diving into a topic that's both essential and often misunderstood: one-time research methods and practical applications. For those of you who are new to the podcast, I specialize in academic writing, research, and dissertations. My goal is to provide you with clear, actionable steps to make your dissertation process smoother and more efficient. In this episode, we'll be exploring the concept of one-time research. We'll discuss what it is, why it's important, and how you can apply it effectively in your doctoral studies. One-time research is a powerful approach that, when done correctly, can save you a lot of time and resources. It involves conducting a single, comprehensive study or experiment to gather all the necessary data you need for your research question. Now, you might wonder why one-time research is so crucial. For starters, it allows you to focus all your energy and resources on one thorough investigation rather than spreading yourself too thin over multiple studies. This can lead to more accurate and reliable results, which are essential for your dissertation. Moreover, it helps in minimizing the logistical and financial burdens associated with conducting multiple rounds of research. Think of one-time research as a well-planned and executed project that provides you with all the insights you need in one go. It's about being strategic and efficient, ensuring that every step you take is purposeful and contributes directly to answering your research question. By the end of this episode, you'll have a solid understanding of how to plan and implement one-time research in your dissertation work. You'll also learn practical tips and techniques to make the most out of your research efforts. So, grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's explore the world of one-time research together. Let's dive into understanding one-time research. What exactly is it, and how does it differ from other types of studies? One-time research, also known as cross-sectional research, involves collecting data at a single point in time. Think of it as taking a snapshot of your subject at a specific moment. This approach is different from longitudinal studies, which involve collecting data over an extended period to observe changes and developments. The beauty of one-time research lies in its simplicity and efficiency. It allows researchers to gather a large amount of data quickly, without needing to track the same subjects over time. This makes it especially useful for studies where time and resources are limited. The data collected provides a comprehensive picture of the subject matter as it stands at that moment, offering immediate insights that can be used right away. Now let's talk about some common characteristics of one-time research. First, it's all about the snapshot approach. This means that the data you gather reflects a single moment in time, giving you a clear picture of the current state of your subject. This is particularly valuable when you need to understand a phenomenon as it exists right now, without waiting for changes or trends to emerge. Another key characteristic is cross-sectional data. This type of data is collected from a variety of subjects at the same point in time. By doing this, you can compare different groups or variables simultaneously, providing a broad overview of the topic you're studying. It's like capturing a panoramic view where you can see multiple aspects at once. Finally, one-time research allows for immediate application. Because the data is collected all at once, you can analyze it and draw conclusions quickly. This is perfect for projects with tight deadlines or when you need to make decisions based on current information. One-time research is used widely across various fields due to its versatility and efficiency. In social sciences, for example, it's often employed to study populations at a particular point in time. Imagine a study on the mental health of university students during exam season. By collecting data from a large group of students at the same time, researchers can identify common stressors and coping mechanisms without waiting for the entire academic year to pass. In health sciences, One-time research can be used to understand the prevalence of certain health conditions within a community. For instance, a study might aim to determine the percentage of adults in a city who suffer from diabetes. By surveying a representative sample of the population at once, health officials can get a clear picture of the current situation and plan interventions accordingly. Business fields also benefit greatly from one-time research. Companies often use this approach to gauge customer satisfaction or market trends. Picture a survey conducted by a tech company to understand user satisfaction with a new software update. By collecting feedback from users immediately after the update, the company can quickly identify any issues and make necessary adjustments. Let's look at a few specific examples. In social sciences, a researcher might conduct a one-time study to examine the relationship between social media usage and self-esteem among teenagers. By gathering data from a large group of teens at the same time, the researcher can identify patterns and correlations that provide valuable insights into how social media affects young people's self-image. In health sciences, consider a cross-sectional study aimed at assessing the impact of a new diet on cholesterol levels. Researchers could collect blood samples from participants following the diet for a specified period and compare them to those not on the diet. This approach provides immediate data on the diet's effectiveness, helping to guide further dietary recommendations and interventions. In the business world, imagine a company launching a new product and wanting to understand consumer reactions. By conducting a one-time survey shortly after the product launch, the company can gather feedback on customer satisfaction, preferences, and potential improvements. This timely data allows for quick adjustments and better marketing strategies. One-time research offers a powerful way to gather valuable insights quickly and efficiently. By understanding its characteristics and common uses, you can see how this approach can be applied to various fields to achieve practical and meaningful results. Now that we have a solid understanding of what one-time research is, let's talk about the methods you can use to conduct it. We'll cover 4 main approaches: surveys, case studies, experiments, and observational studies. Each method has its unique advantages and applications, so let's dive in. Surveys are one of the most common methods used in one-time research. They allow you to gather data from a large number of respondents quickly and efficiently. To get the most out of your survey, it's important to design it carefully. When creating a survey, think about the types of questions you want to ask. Open-ended questions can provide rich, detailed responses, but they can be time-consuming to analyze. Closed-ended questions like multiple choice or Likert scale questions are easier to quantify and analyze. A good survey often includes a mix of both to balance depth and ease of analysis. Distribution is another key aspect. You can distribute surveys online through platforms like Google Forms or SurveyMonkey. These tools make it easy to reach a wide audience and collect responses in a structured format. Alternatively, you can conduct surveys in person, by phone, or via mail, depending on your target population and resources. To ensure your survey is effective, keep your questions clear and concise. Avoid leading questions that might bias the responses. Pilot testing your survey with a small group before full deployment can help identify any issues and refine your questions for better clarity and effectiveness. Case studies are another valuable method for one-time research. They involve an in-depth analysis of a particular case or cases within a real-world context. This approach is particularly useful for exploring complex issues where a detailed, contextual understanding is needed. When selecting cases for your study, choose those that are most relevant to your research question. You might select a single case that provides a unique or particularly rich source of data, or multiple cases to allow for comparative analysis. Collecting data for a case study often involves multiple methods, such as interviews, document analysis, and observations. This triangulation helps to build a comprehensive picture of the case. For instance, if you're studying a company's response to a crisis, you might interview employees, analyze company reports, and observe the company's social media activity. Analyzing case study data involves identifying patterns and themes. Look for recurring issues or behaviors and consider how they relate to your research question. The goal is to provide a detailed contextual understanding of the case, which can offer valuable insights and implications for broader contexts. Experiments are a powerful method for testing hypotheses in one-time research. They allow you to establish cause and effect relationships by manipulating variables and observing the outcomes. Setting up an experiment involves several key steps. First, define your hypothesis and identify the variables you want to test. You'll need both an experimental group, which receives the treatment or intervention, and a control group, which does not. Randomly assigning participants to these groups helps to ensure that any differences observed are due to the intervention, not other factors. Control is crucial in experiments. Ensure that all other conditions are the same for both groups so that the only difference is the variable you're testing. This helps to isolate the effects of the intervention. Ethical considerations are also important. Make sure your participants provide informed consent and understand the nature of the study. Protect their privacy and ensure that your study does not cause harm. Observational studies involve watching and recording behaviors or events as they occur naturally. This method is particularly useful for studying phenomena in real-world settings where manipulation of variables is not possible or ethical. In observational studies, maintaining objectivity is key. Avoid letting your expectations or biases influence what you observe and record. Use standardized methods for recording data to ensure consistency and reliability. There are different types of observational studies. Participant observation involves the researcher becoming part of the group being studied, while non-participant observation involves observing from a distance. Both approaches have their advantages and can provide valuable insights. Observational data can include both quantitative and qualitative information. Quantitative data might involve counting the number of times a particular behavior occurs, while qualitative data might involve describing the context and nuances of those behaviors. Combining both types can give you a richer understanding of the subject. Each of these methods, surveys, case studies, experiments, and observational studies, offers unique advantages for one-time research. By understanding how to effectively design and implement each approach, you can gather valuable data and insights to support your dissertation. Whether you're exploring broad trends with a survey or diving deep into a specific case, one-time research provides a versatile and powerful tool set for your academic journey. One-time research isn't just a theoretical concept. It's used in many impactful real-world projects. Let's look at a few examples to see how it's applied and what kind of impact it can have. Consider a study conducted by public health researchers aiming to understand the prevalence of smoking among teenagers in a city. They conducted a survey with a large, diverse group of teens, asking about their smoking habits, reasons for smoking, and sources of cigarettes. This one-time research provided a snapshot of the smoking issue, allowing the city to implement targeted anti-smoking campaigns based on real data. Another example comes from the business world. A tech company wanted to gauge customer satisfaction with a new software update. They sent out a survey to all users immediately after the update was released. The feedback they received helped them quickly identify and fix bugs, improving user experience and satisfaction. This immediate response capability is one of the key strengths of one-time research. In education, a university might conduct a cross-sectional study to assess the mental health of its students during finals week. By gathering data at this high-stress time, they can identify common issues and offer timely support services, improving student well-being. Now let's talk about how you can incorporate one-time research into your dissertation. The process involves careful planning and execution. So here's a step-by-step guide to help you through it. First, start with a clear, focused research question that one-time research can address. This question should be specific enough to be answered with a single round of data collection. For example, if you're studying the impact of social media on academic performance, frame a question that targets this relationship directly. Next, choose the method that best suits your question: survey, case study, experiment, or observational study. Plan the details, including who your participants will be, how you'll collect your data, and what tools you'll need. If you decide on a survey, think about the types of questions you'll ask. and the best way to distribute it to your audience. Once you have your plan, develop your instruments. If you're using a survey, design your questionnaire carefully. Make sure your questions are clear and unbiased. For case studies, prepare your interview questions or observation protocols. Ensure your tools are designed to collect the data you need without confusing your participants. Now it's time to collect your data. Execute your data collection plan meticulously. Whether you're distributing surveys, conducting interviews, or observing behavior, stick to your plan and collect your data systematically. This phase is crucial, as the quality of your data directly impacts the validity of your research. After collecting your data, move on to analysis. Use appropriate methods to analyze your data. This might involve statistical analysis for survey data, thematic analysis for case study interviews, or coding for observational data. Your goal here is to identify patterns and draw meaningful conclusions. Interpret your findings by considering how they answer your research question. What insights have you gained? Be clear and concise in your interpretation. Discuss the implications of your research and how it contributes to your field. Finally, report your results. Write up your findings in a clear, organized manner. Present your data, explain your analysis, and discuss the implications of your research. Make sure your report is easy to follow and highlights the key takeaways. Several tools can help you conduct one-time research effectively. For surveys, platforms like Google Forms and SurveyMonkey are user-friendly and offer various features to help you design and distribute your questionnaire. Both have free versions that can handle most basic needs. For data analysis, software like SPSS or R can be very useful. These tools allow you to perform complex statistical analyses, which are often necessary for robust research. If you're new to these programs, there are plenty of online tutorials and courses available for free. For qualitative data analysis, consider using tools like InVivo or Atlas.ti. These programs help you organize and analyze text data, making it easier to identify patterns and themes. And don't forget about library resources. Many universities offer access to research databases, journals, and other valuable materials that can support your work. By following these steps and utilizing these tools, you can successfully incorporate one-time research into your dissertation. It's a practical and efficient approach that can yield valuable insights, helping you make a meaningful contribution to your field. One-time research, while efficient, comes with its own set of challenges. Let's explore some common hurdles and how you can overcome them. One major challenge is the limited scope of data. Since you're collecting information at just one point in time, it can be hard to capture the full picture. This snapshot approach might miss trends or changes that occur over time. For example, if you're studying customer satisfaction, a one-time survey might not reveal how opinions evolve with new product updates or services. Another challenge is potential bias, whether it's selection bias, where the sample doesn't represent the population accurately, or response bias, where participants might not provide truthful answers. These biases can skew your results. For instance, if only the most dissatisfied customers respond to your survey, you might get an overly negative view of your product. Now, let's talk about practical solutions. To address the issue of limited data scope, you can ensure your sample is as representative as possible. Choose a diverse group of participants to get a broad perspective. Also consider supplementing your one-time data with existing studies or reports to provide additional context. For potential biases, start with a rigorous methodology. Use random sampling to minimize selection bias. Design your questions to be clear and neutral, avoiding leading or loaded language. Pilot testing your survey with a small group can help identify and fix any issues before full deployment. Critical analysis is crucial. After collecting your data, analyze it carefully to identify any signs of bias. Look for patterns or inconsistencies that might suggest skewed results. Using statistical techniques to adjust for identified biases can also help improve the reliability of your findings. In essence, while one-time research presents certain challenges, a thorough and thoughtful approach can mitigate these issues. By focusing on rigorous methodology and critical analysis, you can produce reliable, insightful results that make a meaningful contribution to your field. As we wrap up today's episode, let's recap the key points we've covered about one-time research. We started by defining what one-time research is and how it differs from longitudinal studies. We explored its characteristics, such as the snapshot approach and the collection of cross-sectional data, which can be applied immediately. We also discussed various methods like surveys, case studies, experiments, and observational studies, detailing how each can be effectively used in your research projects. We highlighted the practical applications of one-time research with real-world examples from fields like public health, business, and education. These examples demonstrated how this research method can provide valuable insights quickly and efficiently. We also touched on some common challenges, like limited data scope and potential biases, and provided practical solutions to overcome these obstacles through rigorous methodology and critical analysis. Now, let's talk about some actionable advice to get you started on your own one-time research project. First, clearly define your research question. Make sure it's specific and focused. Then, choose the appropriate method for your study, whether it's a survey, case study, experiment, or observational study. Plan your research carefully, develop your instruments, and collect your data systematically. Finally, analyze your data thoroughly, interpret your findings, and report your results clearly. Remember, the key to successful one-time research is in the planning and execution. Take the time to design your study carefully and be diligent in your data collection and analysis. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you found it insightful and that you're now inspired to apply these methods and tips to your own research projects. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences with one-time research, so feel free to share them with us. Be sure to tune in for our next episode, where we'll continue to explore practical strategies to help you succeed in your doctoral journey. Don't forget to check out additional resources available on our platform to support you in your research. Until next time, happy researching.